Okay, there we go. Over to you, Mick.
Good. Thank you. Well, hi everyone. It's Mick here from B&Do, and I'm joined by Bryony as well, also from
Hello.
B&Do, director of
Hi.
B&Do. And we are hoping over the next hour to introduce you to what we call
Hey, there we go. Over to you, Mick.
Good.
Thank you. Well, hi everyone.
That's it. We've got some little feedback there. Good. We'll carry on. So we're going to introduce you to what we call modern meditation. And we've got a special sort of treat for you today because we're going to do something called noticing, which is like a sort of foundation practice. And then we're going to do something very special for Envirolution. We are going to do a loving kindness meditation. And I'll explain later why loving kindness is important. Speaks for itself really, but why loving kindness is important, and very interestingly, what happens to the mind body when we activate and promote loving kindness as a practice, and that is very, very interesting, and we'll be exploring that as well. But I'll pass you over to B, who's going to set the scene for us.
Lovely, thank you, Mick. And yeah, first I just want to thank Envirolution for having us here today, and we're really excited to be taking part, especially alongside such amazing speakers and participants. So just a bit of context, I guess, about both B&Do and meditation, and thinking about everything that's been happening in the last few months. And ahead of lockdown, we already were doing things online, but when everything really kicked in, we actually started doing a 10-week modern meditation session every Monday morning. And we ended up creating a group that was over 300 people. And we were coming together on a regular basis to meditate. So for us, this was a really important time to create a safe space for everyone to come together, to feel that sense of connection, to know that you're not on your own, to learn some of the basics of meditation, and to, I guess, find some connection and meaning during what is a very uncertain time. And it's interesting because at the heart of be and do, Mick will share a bit more in a moment, but it's really for us, it's learning how we can be in this world and then do in terms of taking action. And the theme of Envirolution is all around my future planet. And that for us is really interesting because we are always taking a view to the future, taking what is a very ancient art and science of meditation and actually applying it to our modern lives, really treating it as a life skill. So at B&Do, we actually help people learn how to meditate, and Mick has crafted a series of very effective techniques that really help people tap into the feeling, the mind-body experience of what meditation can be like. But there's also this connection to thinking about, building our futures and thinking about creation and creativity. That's a really important strand to B&Do, and that actually relates very nicely to Mick's journey and how he came to create B&Do, which ties beautifully into my future planet as well. So Mick, do you want to share with people, just as before we get started on our first practice, a bit about your work as an architect, which is
Yes, interestingly, I'm a yoga teacher and a meditation teacher, but my secret identity is I'm an architect, although I'm retired now, but I spend all my time doing this. But we at B&Do are using now modern meditation techniques to enable you to change your world from the inside out. So to be like your own architect. And we have created this idea of something called the inner architect. When we learn meditation and the way we promote it and teach it, it gives you the tools and facilities and the resources, which you already have in abundance anyway. It gives you the skill to be able to change your world from the inside out. And that's so important because, as B says, we are right at that moment now, most definitely, where we are seeing a shift of consciousness beginning to happen across the world now. And it's very exciting for us meditation and yoga teachers, because there is a sort of groundswell of change beginning to sort of now flow across the world. And if there's one thing that modern meditation tells us, is that you and I have amazing skills to be able to change the world simply by the way we respond to it. And the key watchword for all of this is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And when we learn modern meditation, that's basically it. All we're doing is learning to change how we observe ourselves, how we observe others, and how we observe the world around us. It's simply a shift of perception, a shift of perspective, if you like. And it's very, very easy to do. And it's very efficient, it's very quick, and it's a fantastic human technology, which is now being researched all over the world. Some of you will know this, that you'll know now that meditation, modern meditation, which has come out of yoga originally via Buddhism, and now becomes a very contemporary, non-religious practice.
Hola, 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 hola.
So we have this amazing ability to be able
Hola, hola, hola.
to change it. We need to put her on mute. That's it. Good. Excellent. Good. So that's it. That's all we're going to do in the next 45 minutes, is begin to actually change the way we see the world
Hola.
with meditation. So who's up for it? Yeah? Should we give it a whirl? Yeah? Good. Let's do it. So over to you, B. Why don't you start us off with our very first little practice?
Lovely, thank you so much. So if at any point someone is unmuted and there's loud, unexpected noises, well, then this is a great opportunity to practice patience and to observe how the mind can wander off, and we can observe within us feelings arising very quickly. So we're going to do this short noticing practice, and then I'll pass you back to Mick for our longer guided meditation, which is all going to be around loving kindness. So in this first instance, I would love for you to take a moment wherever you're sitting, wherever you're joining us today, just to take a moment to really feel yourself sat wherever you are. Take a moment to sit up nice and straight in your chair or the sofa. And if you can, uncross your legs and have your feet flat on the ground. Take a moment to really feel the feet. And this helps us to arrive in this space. And what I mean by that is actually allow us to become aware, to bring that mental attention and focus into this body sat here right now. And with your hands, I'll invite you to have them open and resting, palms facing up to the ceiling, if that's comfortable to do so. If you would prefer to have them facing down on the lap, then that's fine as well. And welcome to take your glasses off. It's a sign I'm getting serious when that happens. And I'll invite you now to gently close the eyes, or to lower and soften your gaze as this noticing practice will begin. And so we're going to take some deep breaths together to help center the body. So we'll inhale in through the nose, breathing deep into the belly, and exhale out through the mouth. Very good. We'll do a few more. Nice deep breath in through the nose. Breathe deep into the belly. Imagine it expanding. Exhale out through the mouth. One more nice deep breath like that. Nice deep inhale in through the nose. Breathe nice and deeply. Expand the belly on the inhale. And exhale out through the mouth. Very good. Well done. Now allow the breathing to return back to normal. Noticing any sensations that arise after those deep breaths. It's just the body adjusting from that extra oxygen we're taking in. And we're going to focus the attention of the mind to bring the mind into the present moment. And we'll do this by focusing on the left hand resting in the lap. Just bring the attention of the mind to gently focus inwards. What sensations can you feel in the left hand? Can you feel that gentle pressure where the left hand is making contact with the leg? Does the left hand feel heavy? Does the left hand feel light? And if the mind's wandering off and chatting, jumping ahead or planning, just noticing that's happening and bringing your attention back to noticing the left hand just for now. Giving yourself permission to be present. If any scratches or itches or fidgeting are coming up, just inviting the body once again into stillness. Focusing on the left hand, just staying with it. Does the left hand feel cool? Or is there a bit of warmth, a bit of heat in the left hand? Can you feel a gentle tingling maybe in the left hand? Like the cells are humming. And what about the air around the left hand? Is it still? Or perhaps you can feel the air moving ever so gently. Just noticing as the mind wanders off, coming back to the left hand just for a moment. Letting go of what has been and reconnecting to this present moment. And we'll invite this awareness, our mental focus, to gently expand now to welcome in the right hand as well. So now you're noticing both hands resting in the lap. Allowing your awareness to strengthen and becoming curious about the sensations that are arising in the right hand as well. Can you feel that gentle pressure where the right hand is also resting on the leg? Taking notice of the texture of the fabric. If you're making contact with any material with the hands. Just staying with it just for a few more moments longer. Noticing if the mind's wandering off, but just letting those thoughts go. Does the right hand feel heavy or light? How do the sensations compare one hand to the other? Are they different at all? Can you feel one hand more clearly? Is one part of the hand, a particular point, really clear in your mind? Or maybe you can't really feel anything at all, and that's okay. Feeling nothing is still an experience to be witnessed. Just for a few more moments now, that renewed commitment. You're doing so well. Just any final observations, any sensations in the hands, any feedback. Very good. Now, just for a moment now, I'll invite you to completely let go of the hands, so you no longer need to stay focused on the hands, And in fact, the mind is welcome to be completely free, can go where it wants, think what it wants to think. I'll fall silent just for a few moments and observe the mind and what it does with the invitation of freedom. Very good, well done. Now we're coming towards the close of this first meditation practice. But before we do, just take a moment to acknowledge the quality of the mind right now. If the mind has been compliant and easily followed the guidance, or perhaps the mind has been a little bit trickier, a bit more liveliness and reluctance to settle down. And that's okay, because with meditation, we are becoming familiar with this mind and body and learning to accept it just as it is. And so keeping the eyes still closed, we'll just invite a bit of movement back into the body now. So if you want to wiggle the fingers, start to pedal the feet, have a gentle stretch. And when you feel ready, just very gently opening the eyes. Just take your time, allowing the lights to come back in. Excellent. Take a moment to have a little blink. And yeah, take your time. Lovely. So that was just a very simple, almost introductory practice that helps to allow our minds to come into the present moment. And sometimes some people are able to connect to that experience quite easily, and they do feel sensations in the hands. For other people, it's something much trickier, and our minds are like, no, I don't want to sit down. And their mind doesn't really like to stay settled in the hands. So just know that there's so many different types of practices, and we're going to do a slightly different one now with Mick. So it's always great to give different types of meditation practice a go. And the clue is in the name, practice. We're practicing these skills, and our minds, it's called the monkey mind for a reason. It's going to wander around and pull at your attention. And so just be proud of that first practice, and I'm grateful for your attention. So unless you've got any questions or comments from anyone joining us live in the session, I'll pass you to Mick. I saw Sarah Dennis saying very calming thank you in the chat. So thank you, Sarah.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Bea. That was lovely. And we often start all of our classes with that lovely noticing technique. And although it seems pretty simple, it's actually quite a good skill to begin to develop, because what are you doing? You're taking hold of your attention. You're taking hold of your attention. Now, that's so important and vital these days, when our attention is held all over, being distracted all over the place. This is a time to just bring our attention back into you where you are. And it's not a sort of narcissistic thing. It's a very, very neat little device, because it brings you into the here and now, into the present. And that's basically the space we operate in meditation. We come into that space of being present. And when that happens, all sorts of neurological and physiological things begin to switch on. They become alive to being present. And you'll know this. You'll have those experiences every now and then. Often we sometimes refer to them as flow experiences, where you're sort of deeply connected, deeply present to what you're doing. And it comes with a little bit of joy, a little bit of sort of creativity, if you like. And so when we learn meditation, we can actually use this technology to switch on that deeper aspects of you. And this is where now kindness comes in, because what are we doing when we're becoming present? What are we doing when we're coming into ourselves? Well, you are switching on the real you, not the you think you should be, or the you that's constantly worrying about stuff in the future or regretting stuff in the past. That's just surface. When we practice meditation, we're coming in to being the real you. And do you know what? The real you is fantastic. The real you, that real sense of being, is full of opportunity, full of potential, full of love, full of compassion, full of creativity. And, don't take my word for it. All you have to do is practice. And those experiences will start blooming up from the inside out. And they really do. They really, really do. And so there you can create a world for yourself now, which is more present, more purposeful, more connected. And that's where we're going. Now, often then we say to ourselves, okay, well, where does all this stuff come from? Where does this amazing compassion and love come from? Well, we talk a lot at B&Do about consciousness. Now, this is where you're going when you meditate. Now, don't worry, okay? It's pretty simple stuff, and you already know the experience of this, but we're going to tap in to a deeper part of you. And that conscious part is actually made of kindness, is actually made of love. And we often say that if you imagine, when you look at the world now around you, we're living in an amazing, diverse world. So many things going on, so many different people doing different things. But underneath all of that diversity, there is one single unifying consciousness, one single unifying principle. And when we practice meditation, we fall into that, which is why when you look at the world through meditation, you see everything is connected. Everything has a reason, has a purpose. And you don't see divisions anymore. You don't see me or you or us or them. You see one beautiful overall unified experience. And it happens. It really, really happens. And kindness is part of that. Now, okay, so far so good. But what's the reward of all of this practice? Well, scientists have been telling us now for some time, what yogis have known for thousands of years, that we can actually begin to change how we feel, how the body-mind works. Now, when we witness, say, an act of kindness, whether you have an act of kindness given directed to you, or you convey an act of kindness, or you just witness an act of kindness, something switches on inside you. And what's happening is, at the big meditation level, is for a moment you're accessing and witnessing that deep, deep sense of connected consciousness. But what's also happening in the mind-body is numerous chemicals switch on. So we have oxytocin, we have serotonin, those great neurotransmitting chemicals in the brain that are designed for you to stay well, optimistic, and happy. Now, these chemicals automatically flow when you witness that lovely moment of togetherness, that lovely moment of peace and harmony and being in the present. So we can actually now use meditation techniques to switch on those chemicals and let them flow in the body. And this stuff is contagious. We talk a lot about contagion these days. This stuff is contagious in a positive way, because how many times do you sort of like see an act of kindness and it makes you feel emotionally connected? And then what you do is you go off and perform an act of kindness. And it's just like a domino effect. It just keeps going and going and going, expanding, expanding. And we often say at Be and Do, and again, there's research behind this, that if one person meditates, they will impact on the well-being of 99 other people. It's true. It's really true. One person meditating impacts on 99 other people in lots and lots of different ways. So stands to reason, if we want to change the world, we have to start with ourselves first and then allow that amazing change to flow out from you to everybody else. And that's how it works. That's how it works. So we're going to do a loving kindness meditation. Now, this is a very, very specialized meditation. But don't worry if you've never done meditation before and you're thinking, oh my goodness, a loving kindness meditation. Where do I start? Don't worry. I will guide you through the whole process. Now, this is a sort of different sort of meditation because it involves you visualizing. It involves you visualizing particular aspects as we go through the practice. So what I will do at the beginning is we'll do another little noticing to get you into the space, get you into being present. And then we'll expand the feeling of that a little bit more. Okay. And then we'll start to then engage with a very deliberate response to loving kindness. See if we can get some of that serotonin to flow in our bodies to allow us to really feel well and creative and optimistic. This is how we make the world a different place, by doing this, by doing this. So are we ready? Should we give it a whirl? Yeah, yeah, okay. Now, don't worry, this is going to be slightly longer than what B did. And if you want to move and fidget, you're very welcome to move and fidget. If you've got an itch, scratch it. Okay, that's important. But we're going to see if we can stay in our meditation space. Now, the key thing here is don't expect anything to happen. Okay, there's no levitation, there's no colored lights, you know, don't even think about that stuff because, you know, we don't want to have any expectation. We want to be in the present and then just explore the feeling of being present and what that reveals to us in practice. Okay, so have an open mind and B and I will do all the work. Are you ready? So what I'd like you to do then is come back into your very active and positive meditation position. Now, if you're sitting on a chair, okay, what you want to be able to do is sort of shove your tailbone into the angle of the chair and have your feet flat on the ground, toes pointing forwards. And then we're going to drop our hands, palms up onto the lap. Now, just position yourself in that posture for a moment. That's good. Meditation is a whole mind-body thing. So getting the posture to work with us is important. Now, so you're sitting alert, but relaxed. And then we very, very gently and softly close the eyes. If you feel that you don't really want to close the eyes, maybe just lower the eyelids a little. Because if you remember, what we're trying to do is minimize distraction. We want to bring our attention in. Okay, so you're sitting there now. You're feeling nice and alert, but calm and relaxed. And you're breathing gently through the nose. Close the mouth if you can and breathe gently through the nose. Well done. And let's make a start. Are you ready? So first things first is we're going to switch on our noticing technique again. Come into the fingers of the left hand again. Well done. Come into the fingers of the left hand and gather up your attention and locate it there in the fingers of your left hand. And almost straight away, we begin to feel what we call a somatic response. It's a very, very gentle, radiant sensation. This is your peripheral nervous system responding to your attention. So keep that sensation going. And two things are beginning to happen already. One is that your attention is being directed. Hold it, sustain it, and we're making a mind-body connection here. And that tells us one thing, that you're beginning to be present. That's good. Keep that sensation going. Fingers of the left hand. Well done. Well done. Now, just as B announced before, we're now going to move our attention and expand it into the fingers of the right hand now as well. So now it gets a little bit trickier. Fingers of the left and right hand simultaneously. Can you feel that sensation there? Can you feel it? Keep it going. Keep it going. And if you're beginning to feel relaxed and centered, that's a good thing, because we're beginning to switch on the feeling of being present. Keep that sensation going. Well done. Now we're going to expand this technique. We're going to move attention now and expand it into something we call awareness. Now you know how to do this, but now we're going to do it purposefully. Keep the sensations going in the fingers, but now let's add the toes as well. Let's add the toes as well. Well done. And let's find that gentle, radiant sensation. Fingers and toes. Well done. Keep that sensation going. Don't worry if you lose it or it sort of just falls away. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring that sensation back. You know how to do it. You know how to do it. That's good. Now, what's beginning to happen now is our attention has to expand into 4 different areas of the body. And so automatically your mind-body switches on a deeper facility, awareness. Awareness. Now, this is an interesting experience. You're aware all of the time, but now we are actually using it as a thing. And this is different from thinking. We're going underneath thinking now into awareness. And in our awareness, we are holding fingers and toes. That's good. Stay there if you can. And again, it's a process. It's a process. That's good. Stay with it. Now come into the hands and feet, into the legs and arms. See if you can extend and expand that radiant sensation. Come into your chest, your shoulders, your face, your head. And now you're sitting completely connected to your experience. And after a while, we notice that that experience feels like a space of awareness, and it's expanding. That's good. Sometimes it feels very small. Sometimes it just moves really quickly, but it's an expanding space of awareness. And you know when it's working because your body feels like it's opening up. It feels like it's extending. Sometimes it feels as if your body has disappeared. You can still feel it. But the primary experience now is this awareness. Try and stay inside that space if you can. That space of awareness. And now we're getting to the core of the matter, because this space of awareness is getting closer and closer to the real you. This is the real you before thinking happens, before emotions happen. This is just this wonderful sense of presence, pure awareness. Stay there if you can. Stay there. Just try and be inside that space of awareness. That's good. Well done. Stay with it. Now, it might feel as if you are sitting inside this space. It might be that you are the space, but you are definitely there. You are definitely present, more perhaps than you have been for a long time. You're there. Stay in that space. Stay there. Well done. Stay with it. Now, don't worry if your mind is filling with thoughts. That's what it does. Just come back into that space of awareness. Just come back into that space of awareness. That's good. And feel yourself just there. Just there. Now, this awareness space is you. But it's also the same awareness space that's in me too. That's in everyone. We all might appear different on the outside, and that's good. But inside, we all have access to this singular space of awareness. This is why meditation is practiced all over the world. This is the thing that joins us together. This wonderful space. Now, you're inside your space. Now we're going to start a little bit of visualization. You're inside your space. And I want you now to feel and invite another person. Somebody you know. Somebody you love. Bring them into the space with you and sit them down on the left-hand side of where you are. Bring them in. And you might feel straight away a sensation right down the left side of the body. You really do. The presence of that other person now has joined you inside that space of awareness, and you feel them. And what I want you to do now is love them. Send loving kindness from the very heart of you into the very heart of them. Feel, if you can, a line of force, of loving kindness radiating out from you from the left side into that person. And boy, can you feel it now. You can feel it. And as you do so, there's loving kindness coming back to you from them. You're setting up a connection now. This pure loving kindness is flowing between you both. And you know this person. They know you. And between you, you are pure loving kindness. And it's flowing. And it's good. Now stay there. Try and feel that energy, that sustained energy. That's good. Well done. Now we're going to go a little deeper. You may have already thought we've gone deep enough, but there's more to go at. Keep that individual on your left side. Keep that flow of love and kindness. Keep it going. But now bring somebody into your space on the other side. Invite another person you know to sit with you on your right-hand side. That's good. You know who they are. You've invited them. And again, project loving kindness from the right side of you now, from the heart of you into the heart of them. And this loving kindness now is flowing left and right. And don't worry, you will never run out of loving kindness. The more you project and radiate it, the stronger it gets. So now, to the left and to the right, you've created a trinity of loving kindness between the three of you. That's good. Keep it going. And it might be that you feel this flow of love and kindness as a thing in the body. You might feel it. You'll feel it. That's good. Now, what we're going to do now is go even deeper. You're joined on your left and right side by people that you know most dearly. Now what I'd like you to do is invite more conscious awareness into that space, other people. Now these are people that you might not know, or other people that you just love. Let them come in, because now you are surrounded by pure, loving kindness. It's coming to you and you're sending it back. It almost takes your breath away. This joy just radiating out into this circle of people around you. Stay with it. Stay with it. And notice how it makes you feel. Notice how you might feel lifted, empowered, safe and protected. Stay with it. Stay with it. Well done. And now your conscious awareness, that space that you've created, is flowing with love. And it's too much for one person. So what I'd like you to do now is go even further. Let's now take that loving kindness and radiate it out in every direction. Just feel yourself at the center of this amazing, radiant love. And it's just going everywhere, out into the world, in every direction. To people you don't know, to people you're suspicious of, to people that you don't find nourishing. Send your love to them. They need it. They need it. Expand that love. Because this little practice takes us to the core of being human. You and I are basically portals, conduits for love to flow into the world. So feel that love flow, feel that kindness flow out into the world and maybe even beyond. Send it out into the solar system, the Milky Way, the universe. Be the conduit for love in the entire universe now. That's your job. That's what you're for. Stay there. Feel that love. That's good. Now stay with it. Stay with it. Very good. Now, after a few moments, we may begin to draw back a little. We just sit quietly. Maybe the people now that are in that space with you, maybe they've left. Maybe they've moved away. Often, though, it's the case that they hang around, that they stay with you for some time. That's okay too. That shows the depth of your love, the power of your kindness. Well done. In a few moments now, we're going to come back into what we call our waking state, because where you've been is a deep conscious world. We're now going to come back into this world, and hopefully a little bit different. When you feel ready, very, very, very gently open your eyes. Take your time. There's no rush. When you feel ready, just come back into the space you're in. Well done. Try not to look at anybody else. Try not to be distracted by anything in the room around you. Stay in that beautiful space that you've just created. Remember, you are the architect here. You've made this happen. Well done. Well done. Have a gentle stretch if you want to. You can now move around. That's good. Good. Well done, everyone. Well done. You know, we were meditating there for about nearly 20 minutes, which is pretty good. Pretty good. That's like your standard practice. So well done. And if you've never done that before, congratulations, because that's what we call jumping into the deep end. Loving kindness meditation is an advanced practice. And if you've never done that before and you've got something out of it, you've done extremely well. You've done extremely well. Now, why would we want to do this? Well, it stands to reason, doesn't it, that you know, love and kindness is a resource that never runs out. The more you project, the more you use, the more you get. You know, everybody knows that, don't they? Everybody knows that. But with this meditation practice, often referred to as a metta practice, that's what the Buddhists call it, a metta practice. Often with this meditation, then you're using what is a basic human skill to love, but using it as a technique, as a practice to hopefully change the world and change yourself at the same time. And that's basically it. Good, good. Over to you, B. Do you want to do a little summing up?
Yeah, lovely. Thank you so much, Mick. That was really nice. So then, in terms of next steps, so, you know, this whole festival is themed around My Future Planet. And if we all want to be inspired and compassionate, loving, courageous, present people, then meditation is the way to go. And as we've shared at the beginning, we've created this amazing online space, and we meet together every Monday. And for those of you that have joined us today, we'd love to open up this space for you as well. And so we've actually created a little discount or an offer for those people watching. So we'll pop in the chat a link to our social channels, and it would be so lovely if you do want to join us. Then all you need to do is on either channel follow us and drop us a direct message, and you'll get a special code that's just for you. And what that will give you is you're going to get 50% off our monthly subscription. So you can join us every single Monday morning for a live meditation session, and they're always recorded, so you can watch it back in your own time as well if you can't join us live. And Mick also has an amazing book which forms the foundation of so much of what we practice, and it draws on, you know, the science and psychology of the mind and what it is to be alive, and lots of really ancient wisdom as well. And you'll actually get a free copy of that book as well. So it's a pretty damn good deal. But if you want to continue your journey, then we would love to share that space with you as well. So as I said, just follow us on either of those channels and drop us a direct message, and I'll send you the code and you can join us. And if you're interested in our other courses, I'll also include a link now to Teachable, which is a platform where we run a lot of courses. So as I said, we teach people to learn these techniques, to learn how to meditate. And when you're part of a group, you know, and you have that guidance and that support, it makes a huge difference, you know, because only really you can choose to be your own hero, you know, a hero's journey, and save yourself, but you don't have to do it on your own. Yeah, you don't have to do it on your own. So we're all in it together. We may as well enjoy the journey together. So, and Mick, I know that you'd mentioned about sharing a bit about your book or a final quote to finish us off for today.
Yeah. The here is the book, Making Happy Work, and it's basically the result of 30 years of yoga and meditation practice. I finally managed to write it all down in a book, and it forms the basis for the training and teaching that we run at Be and Do. And the clue is in the name, Be and Do. So the idea is that we attach ourselves through meditation, we explore the joy of just being and the happiness of doing. And they're connected. They are connected. That what we do in the world and how we do it is so connected to how we have that sense of presence. So it's a bit like presence and purpose, being and doing. And that's basically the goal of all meditation practice, all yoga practice. That's the goal, is to bring those two aspects of experience together. And don't anybody tell you otherwise, because that's basically it. How on earth do we get through living on this planet and thrive, but at the same time make it beautiful, make it wonderful? And at Be and Do, we're sort of rather glib about this, but we have a pretty good mission statement, which is we want to change the world. We want to change the world. And we can see it's beginning to happen. And the only way we're going to really change the world is through you. And that's what we're doing. So as B says, sign up for the Monday morning session. That developed out of our lockdown classes. We did a 10-week free lockdown session every Monday morning. We had 300 people, over 300 people sign up for that. And that was a joy. And now we've finished that. And now we are running it as a subscription because everybody said, just keep going, Bryony and Mick, just keep doing it, just keep doing it. So we run it now as a subscription. And if you direct message B, as she says, then you'll get 50% off the subscription for the Monday morning meditation, which is a monthly subscription. And you'll get an e-version of this book, which you can download from the course. And, you know, it'll really, really help you. So I'm going to finish now with reading a quote from one of our heroes. And it's in the back of the book. You may have heard of David Lynch. He was the guy that I've been following since I was a small boy. And I've been following him for a long, long, long time. And his approach to meditation and the joy that he brings through creativity and the work he does is basically the sort of impetus that got me started on Be and Do. And I'm going to read you a little quote from his book, Catching the Big Fish, which some of you might know. And it goes like this. He says, stay true to yourself. Let your voice ring out and don't let anybody fiddle with it. Never turn down a good idea, but never take a bad idea, and meditate. It's very important to experience that self, which is what you've just been doing, that pure consciousness. He says, it's really helped me. And he says, grow in happiness and intuition. Experience the joy of doing, and you'll glow in this peaceful way. Your friends will be very, very happy with you. Everyone will want to sit next to you, and people will give you money. And I love that. I love that last quote. And that's basically what he's saying. Meditate, be the real you, be the real you, and you'll find that the real you is exactly what you need. And it's exactly what everybody else needs as well, for you to be the real you. And that's it. I think we've come to an end. I can just see Ray just appear. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, B, on behalf of B and myself and Be and Do. Thank you. Last year we did this in the park, of course, and it was beautiful. We sat in a big circle and that was lovely. Now we're doing it differently, but hopefully the energy and the love is still there. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Mick and Bryony. I'd just like to take this last moment. If anyone has any questions that you'd like to ask, you can just open it up for any questions. Okay. Okay, I'm going to end the recording now. Thank you so much for your time. It was a beautiful.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Bye, everyone.